There is such a period in the career of every talented player. He still performs at Tier 3 or Tier 2 levels. But it is already clear to everyone that in the future, this guy will be on the pro stages. Such players at one time were Simple, who changed several teams in 2015, but showed the highest skill in each of them. Monisi, who, speaking for Navi, clicked like nuts on any opponents of Easy Zaibu, who refused top teams because he wanted to graduate from school, and in his spare time played for AL Authority with a rating of 1.39. If in the careers of such guys, nothing bad happens, such as bans with VG and Yam for 322 and cheats, respectively, then they naturally go to the Tier 1 level and feel great there. Today we are watching another rising star from the CIS, who's currently playing at the shooting range of 2 levels, sitting in first place in the top of the Facebook. And do not forget to subscribe. You are watching Incendero, and this is the story of one of the most toxic players. Danil Donk was born in January 2007 in the Siberian city of Tomsk when Dana was 5 years old. His older brother showed him Case 1.6, and 2 years later they switched to CSG together. And the young Donk noticed that he actually spends 12 hours a day in CSG playing at a good level and developing steadily. Then he realized that he wanted to become an eSports player and connect his life with it. The first entry in social networks was subsidized in 2021. Then Donk posted a screenshot with 4,000 photos on Facebook, which he achieved at the age of 14. In the same year, Tanya joined the European HCV, and this achievement is amazing. It is not surprising that then one of the best scouts of the CIS, Overdrive, noticed him. Alex was amazed by Donk's statistics and decided to watch a few of his matches. Then he realized that he might have stumbled upon a future star and invited Danya to play several online tournaments with him. The boy showed himself well, and Over told the managers of the Spirit Academy about it. And here is a small example of what he was doing then. If anything, it was the final of the 2 versus 2 tournament, where Donk and Shady made a comeback with a score of 1-8.
Взять всю ситуацию, соответственно, в свои жесткие мужские руки и, соответственно, выиграть, возможно, даже в двойном количестве. Нет, Донк! Бро! Почему ты такой жесткий,
Danya was taken to the Spirit Academy for a test. The organization was only looking out for a 14-year-old player who, due to age restrictions, wouldn't. Let's face it, the test period was very difficult for Donk. According to statistics from LTV, he completed the first 22 cards with a rating of 0.97. Danil recalls that he was very upset when he did not reveal his potential. He did not play in his positions and felt a lot of pressure and could not get used to the team's KSU, which is very different from FaZe. The organization was not confused by CD 0.95 over the past 4 months. The Dragons saw potential in Dan and wanted to work with him for a long time. In March last year, Eric Shokov shot a full-fledged video where he compared him with Ilya Monesi in terms of talent and prospect. Eric understood that he was going to a bank making such serious statements, but he was sure that in the future, this guy would reach great heights. Then it turned out that Shock had offered Donk to star in the video. In general, almost all the people who worked with Daniel note his kindness and non-conflict in this regard. He is compared to Zaivu. The guy just loves CS and wants to become a world champion. Moreover, at the age of 15, Danya greatly appreciated education and studied well, and his parents allowed him to spend a lot of time at the computer. The first serious event where Spiritualists announced Donka was the 4th season of the Academy from Vplay in early June. Unfortunately, the Dragons took the penultimate place on it, but Donk proved himself well individually and began to take him to all championships in November. Donk thundered in the CIS community with his entry into the Face It Pro League at that time. He played with CD 1.5 and took 52nd place in the face rating throughout Europe. Donk became the second youngest player from Russia that passed in. The first PL was Monisi, and a month later, Donk struck 10,000 hours in CSG. We recall he was only 15 years old. At the end of 2022, Shiro took 3rd place in the annual top of ASL TV. And noted Donk in his interview, Dima singled out Donk as a promising player, who next year could get into the top 20. Donk started 2023 with amazing numbers on the FaZe Pro League. Spy Pirate Academy steadily grew in the HLTV team ranking. They won prizes at online tournaments, and in the first season of the Eastern European CCT, they became champions at all. Already in spring, the guys gained a foothold in the top 50, and by July, they had risen to 34th place in the HLTV top. They felt very confident in 2 matches, and managed to defeat Oven, Monty, Apex, and other strong rivals. When the team fought on equal terms with the semi-finalists of the majors of the match for a slot in the Pro League, and the donks were interested in vitality themselves. It became quite difficult to call them an academy. It was clear that some players had outgrown the youth level, and it was time for them to go up. But the main team of Spirit went through a very difficult period. 3 players left there at once. Only Chopper and Magic remained in the team with Coach Hani. We can say that they did not just make substitutions, but assembled a completely new team under the former tag of the organization. Their academic staff came in handy. Zontic, Arfrost, and Donk went to a well-deserved promotion. In the semifinals with Nay Pandas, the Spirits made one of the best comebacks in recent years. The guys, when they lost the third card with a score of 15-5, but took 10 rounds in a row and went to overtime. Largely thanks to Donk, he became the best on that card for the side of CT.
Второй фраг, 30-13 идет, приходит Арфрост, остается Донк последним, у него 48 хп. Видели местонахождение Донка. Донк убивает пачку, 1 в 1.
Ставить надо. Тима, ну второй раунд, не надо проигрывать так.
Он успел поставить пачку, и теперь посмотрим за моментом в тишине. Донк без шансов.
Champions of that tournament beat Virtus Pro in the final, and Donk received the MVP medal on his first HLTV lane with dignity. The Spirits continue to gain positions, and Donk, despite the increase in the level of rivals, still plays at the highest level. Recently, the guys stopped 1 win away from entering the Blast Show Dawn and also qualified for the Thunder Pick tournament with a prize fund of $500,000. Analysts say that it is only a matter of time before the Donk reaches the Tier 1 level. Well, let's cheer for him. Don't forget to like and subscribe so as not to miss the content until new meeting.